You never thought of yourself as supply, let alone the new supply. But you were, because before you, there was a victim who went through everything you went through. And the narcissist used you to triangulate them to get supply and fuel from the both of you. My name is Amy, and this is Narcaway. My channel is devoted to educating, supporting, and encouraging victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse. So, guys, we're in full-blown winter here in Canada, and I've got ice on my car, and it's melting because it's a little bit sunny today. So if you hear some weird noises, since I'm recording from the car, that's what it is. So when you were being love bombed at the beginning of your relationship by the narcissist, you probably didn't know that there was already somebody else in the narcissist's life that was going through hell. Chances are that the narcissist had either just been left by or had just discarded somebody else. And because narcissists can't be alone, because they can't be without supply, they have to glob on to the very first person that is going to give them attention, that is not going to see the red flags, and that is a good victim for grooming and potentially for their next conquest. And for whatever reasons, you were that person. You may have been in a vulnerable spot in your life. You may have never been in an abusive relationship before, so you didn't know the signs to look out for. Or maybe you only have been in abusive relationships, so that's what you were used to, and you thought that was actually normal, the way you were being treated. But the narcissist is also very good at disguising their evil intentions under the guise of the love bombing. So when we talked about love bombing before, we talked about the fact that it is all those romantic notions that are being so heavily thrown on you that even if the red flags are peeking up, it's so easy to cast them aside because you're being bombarded, you're being bombed with love, quite literally. They are calling you, they are texting you, they are very attentive, they are praising you, they are telling you that you are their soulmate, they're sending you flowers to work, they're letting all your friends and all their friends know how much they are in love with you, that you're the one, and how nobody else before you has ever compared to you, and all the other exes were basket cases or jerks or whatever they were, but they were negative, and they're comparing and praising you, making you out to be the be all and end all. And that's very hard to resist, even in the light of red flags and not so great behaviors popping up. It's very easy to turn a blind eye when you are in the beginning throes of love. There's not much that can distract you from that. And that's why the saying love is blind exists. So it's really no wonder that you didn't know there was somebody else that was in the pit of despair because of this very same person who was making you feel on the top of the world. There was somebody else who was hitting rock bottom, all because of this same person. He or she was transitioning from old victim to new victim. And you were the new supply, you were the new victim, but you had no idea that that was happening. And it would only probably be months later that you would start questioning things. And once that honeymoon phase and that love bombing starts to dwindle, the red flags are a little bit easier to pay attention to. And because they're happening with more frequency and The narcissist is going to become more brazen. They're going to test their boundaries. They're going to see what you will allow. So they're going to exhibit more bad behaviors and see how you react to them. And if you react in a way where you're going to tolerate them, then you are good supply. The narcissist is going to keep you around. If you set firm boundaries and you keep them and you don't tolerate, the narcissist is going to just discard you because you're not going to be good supply. So they're going to move on to the next potential victim. So when you think about the next new supply, now that you have been discarded or discarded the narcissist and you are away from them, they're going to go on to find new supply again. And that can be hurtful to you in the beginning. You will ask questions such as, what do they have that I didn't have? Why are they better than me? You know, I put all this time, energy, love. I would do anything for this person, yet they chose this other person over me. And none of that factors in. The only thing that the new supply has that matters to the narcissist that's different from what you have is the fact that the new supply is not onto them. They are a blank canvas to mold and shape for their abuse. So it's only a matter of time, and this pattern will repeat indefinitely until the narcissist gets too old and tired and ugly and can't source new supply. So I would really not put any energy at all into the new supply and what the narcissist is doing with the new supply. That is a waste of energy. It has nothing to do with you. That's their life. Don't warn the new supply. It won't do anything anyway, and it'll only make you look bitter. Let them figure it out for themselves, because even if you do warn them, it's not going to change their mind. They're not going to say, oh, I shouldn't date this person because the ex tells me not to. Think about how that looks. It's not your responsibility. It's not your problem. You don't owe anything to anyone except yourself. So take that energy that you would otherwise focus on your ex or the new person they're with and focus it back on you, because that's what matters. You have to heal. You have to understand what happened to you. You have to go through the steps of processing the abuse that has happened and the fact that it wasn't your fault, and most importantly, that you can heal from this. This is not the end. In fact, this is just the beginning. That's the best part, because you're so much stronger and you're so much wiser once you have gone through this. This is something that only, a handful of people have actually gone through. And that's why a lot of people don't understand when you try to talk to them about it. They have no idea, because unless you have gone through it, you can't understand it. I don't care how many textbooks you've read and how much education you have. If you've not felt it deep in your heart and deep in your soul, the abuse that comes and the hurt and the pain that comes from a narcissist abusing you, you'll never, ever know it. And that's why this community is so wonderful, because you can talk to people who have gone through it, who understand. You don't have to waste time explaining how you feel. They know how you feel. You just have to look for the support and the encouragement to move on and to get on with your life, because you can. There is life after abuse. I am proof of that. I am happier now than I have been in well over a decade. I spent 10 years with the narcissist, and I'm coming up on 2 years no contact this month. So watch for my 2-year no contact video, guys. It's going to come out in 2 weeks. And I'm going to just share a little bit with you in that video about why I do what I do, how I got Narcaway started, and why I still talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse 2 years after being out of this relationship. So watch for that in an upcoming video. And guys, don't focus on the new supply. That's the bottom line of this video. You were new supply once before, and look how it turned out for you. Not so good. Don't be jealous of the new one. Okay, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, click the thumbs up button. If you don't already subscribe, you can subscribe now. And I love you all. I'll see you in the next video.